Hey, what's up, guys? Tom Clark over at TFC IV MMA. We are back with a familiar face. We spoke to him a couple months ago, but a lot has changed since. We got UFC bantamweight Cameron Saaiman. Cameron, how are you, my friend?
Absolutely amazing. So great to be back in Vegas. UFC 290, the opponent has changed, but that does not change anything. We're still going to get a win, so I'm looking forward to fight night.
Yeah, 100%. So it's been about 3 weeks now. We all got that news that Christian Rodriguez pulled out of the fight, and it didn't get announced till about a week ago that they had found you a replacement. So, I mean, kind of walk us through how you found out, what your reactions were, and what the process was for finding you another fight.
Yeah, it's so my manager let me know like he pulled out with no reason really at all, and like Christian also sent me a message on Instagram. I actually completely forgot. I should actually just reply to the message saying like he got an injury, undisclosed injury, obviously, but he said he couldn't make the fight. So um, it's very unfortunate. That was a fight I was looking forward to a lot, but we are here to perform no matter who is standing across me from the in the octagon. So I'm going to be looking to put on a great performance against Terrence Mitchell, and it's a great opponent, and I'm very fortunate that they could get someone on somewhat of a short notice.
Yeah, 100%. And was there any thought in your mind in those kind of, I know it probably was, you found out it was Mitchell a little before the rest of the press did, but was there any time in between where it was talked about you not being on the card, or were you adamant, I want to fight on UFC 290? You and Dreykus, both your fights, you guys have fought on the same card. So was that kind of your thought from the beginning, is I need to fight on this card?
Yeah, there was Christian pulled out, and then there was like a little bit of silence for a few days, and at a stage I was quite worried not being on the card, but it did not stop any preparation. So I was training as if we are still fighting, no matter who they put in front of us. And when we got the offer for Terrence Mitchell, within 20 minutes, like I literally called coach called back, and he's like, yeah, let's take the fight. So it was a very quick decision. We wanted to be on this card no matter what. And International Fight Week, it's an amazing opportunity to be on one of the biggest cards of the year once again, and what a privilege that is. So it also, the camp went in a certain way that we were preparing for any parts of the game. So it really did not matter who they put in front of us. We would have been ready come fight night.
There we go. And you kind of mentioned it, just another huge card for you. At 22 years old, you don't see this often, but your last fight was 285, which has been the
Yeah.
biggest card of the year, the return of the GOAT, John Jones. Now you're on International Fight Week. I mean, how awesome is that for you, just being on these huge cards time after time and being there with your teammate Dreykus?
Yeah, it's very cool because I think it's like it's quite funny because I'm quite low on the card as well. So it's like these massive fight cards that you're a part of, but you're also kind of keeping a low profile at the same time. So it's great for the podcast studio back home because I get these cool posters that I can put up and say like I was part of that. So hopefully, we after this finish, after this win, we can be part of a big card again. I've been quite vocal that I want to be on that October card in Abu Dhabi. If we can do that, that would be sick, and maybe squeeze in one or two more fights before my 23rd birthday in December. So that's definitely the plan.
And you hear so many fighters that just rave about Abu Dhabi, and they say just the way they treat us, the facilities. I mean, is that what's making you want to fight there, or is it something else?
So I must say, like the first thought, to be honest, is the traveling. It's much easier from South Africa to travel to Abu Dhabi.
Oh
It's
yeah.
still like a 10-hour flight, but the time difference is like an hour or two. So just climatizing, getting your sleep schedule done, everything like that is quite easy. So in terms of preparation, that makes the fight quite like much easier to prepare for. Other thing is when Drickus made his debut in Fight Island, we, like you said, how they treat you is next level. You know, I'm having a great stay here at the Palms here in Las Vegas. It's absolutely amazing, and Abu Dhabi is very similar to that. You know, so we've had a great experience there, and I would like to fight in another city other than Vegas as well. So you know, I have the best job in the world. I get to travel and fight people. So I would like to do that in other cities too, and experience other cultures, and you know, just you also just broaden that type of experience. No matter where you go, you'll be ready for a fight.
Yeah. And that was something I was rewatching your last fight against Mana Martinez. I didn't get to hear the commentary because I was there in the crowd that night. But Daniel Cormier kind of mentioned, he's like, you see it with these younger guys, just the joy they have in that octagon. I mean, being 22, you've been training MMA for a while. Does this almost like, do you almost have to pinch yourself at certain points? Like, I'm traveling around the world doing what I love, getting paid to do it. Like, how awesome is that for you, man?
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, I grabbed the coffee just like yesterday morning. Grabbed the coffee and I was here in the lobby just walking up and down, looking at the view, and I was just almost having a little bit of an internal chat with myself, and I was just like, "Man, I'm in such a fortunate position to be here. You know, I can honestly say I love what I do every single day. On a Sunday I can't wait for a Monday because then we can start training again. So back home, it's great to be able to be in South Africa, train there, prepare, and then obviously travel to compete. You know, it's a dream come true, and I do think, you know, when I started the sport at the age of 12, I honestly did not think it will amount to this. You know, my goal as a 12-year-old was to fight once in the EFC. Like that was the goal. Just fight once in the EFC, then I'll be happy. And it almost like developed into this love and passion. So I'm very fortunate and grateful to be here. And you'll see that happiness in the cage come fight nights. You know, I think in the last fight I had a lot of fun, especially how the fight progressed. The longer it went, the more comfortable I felt in the cage. Hopefully we can keep up with that momentum and bring that into the fight against Terrence Mitchell.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you did just keep getting better as that fight went on. At the beginning, Mana's known to be a very quick starter, and he has a lot of power early on. And you ate his best shots, and then just as the rounds went, you kept getting better. You knocked him down in the second, and then kind of dominated him in the third. So these are two fights in a row where you've really just outlasted your opponent. So is that cardio something that you will look to weaponize, or is that just how it goes once you're in there?
Definitely, once we're in there, it's something that I kind of it's like a given. You know, it's one of my biggest tools, I would say. And the longer the fight goes, the more comfortable I get. Sometimes it takes me a while to get my timing in, and I've had in past fights been known criticized for, you know, not switching on until getting punched in the face quite a lot, and then the switches go on quite quickly. So but it's going to change at UFC 290. You know, I'm going to come out there. I'm going to come out with a very high pace. I can rely on my fitness. I know I have it in me for 3 rounds, and we're going to look for the finish within 2 rounds.
Perfect, man. Yeah, I can definitely see it. I mean, Terrence is a great opponent, but I feel like you've beaten better guys. And against a guy like C-Rod, obviously, just the mindset going from fighting a 25-year-old contender to now a 33-year-old veteran. I mean, does anything change in your mind, or is the goal the same? You're just going to go out there, kind of whoop some ass, and go from there.
Yeah, nothing changes. You know, I think uh, a lot of guys can be quite fixated on the opponent. The preparation went in a kind of way that we looked to improve all aspects of the game, no matter where the fight goes, that we are comfortable beating the opponent, no matter who they are, where they're from. We will be able to have an answer for the questions at hand, and it's great for a situation like this where the opponent has changed, because now we can go out there and literally fight wherever we want. You know, Terrence Mitchell has a lot of finishes on the ground, which is awesome. He has a great record, 15-2. You know, I'm getting used to fighting these guys with like these super impressive records, which is also amazing for my record. You know, so it does not phase me at all. And no matter who they put there, we're gonna finish them in 2 rounds. And Terrence Mitchell is always a game opponent, super explosive, and hopefully he wants to keep it standing because it's a stacked card. It's going to be a very hard to get a bonus. So that I think keeping it on the feet will better our chances at getting a bonus, and I do think like a bonus will be good for both of us.
No, 100%. And speaking of your preparation, I know last time we spoke back in May, you had just started camp, and I asked you about when you come to America. You said usually 10 to 12 days or so. You came out about 3 weeks before this time. Was that something planned, or is that just how the cards fell? I mean, this is two huge fights for you and Dreykus. Did that go into it, or was it just kind of how it happened?
No, it was definitely planned. It was part of the plan to make sure that our bodies recovered from the traveling, because traveling from South Africa to here usually takes us about 30-35 hours.
Oh, geez.
So it is quite intense, and it was all keeping in mind that we wanted to climatize. We wanted to be at the PI where we can do most of our training sessions. We wanted one of our training partners, Mark Hume, to join us as well, join the experience, and he'll be a absolute terror in the welterweight division of the UFC very soon. So it's great to have him here as well. So Coach Mornay Visser is joining us tomorrow, and I'm looking forward for that. But I think it's just we've come to like Vegas quite a lot, so we came a little bit earlier just to make sure everything is in order come fight night.
Yeah, I saw you guys at the Hoover Dam, and then obviously playing some mini golf yesterday with the Schmo interviews and stuff.
Yeah.
Anything else you enjoy checking out in Vegas while you're out there?
I just love beating Dreykus in the mini golf. Like can really make sure to ask him about that repeatedly, and I'll also ask my fans to ask him about how that went. But he's not gonna like that. So at the end of the day, we are just enjoying Vegas for what it is. We got to show Mark the Vegas Strip, which is always for that first time amazing, and we're staying here at the Palms, which is awesome. It's so sick to be here, enjoying the pool, enjoying the Vegas sun, which is very hot. So other than that, we've been quite chilled, getting to our peak training sessions, coming back, relaxing, making sure our bodies recover. It's been great.
Yeah, and I know you said you should ask Dreykus about that. He may get a little riled up. I mean, is there a lot of friendly competition between you two? I know you stated like I need to get a good finish on this card because I want to win that bonus. It's going to be tough. When you have one of your best friends and teammates, like, is there a little like, hey, which one of us is going to get the bonus? Because obviously you guys both are looking to knock the other person out.
Yeah, always. It's always a competition. We actually back home in South Africa, we have a show. It's on a private platform. We call it Afriforum TF. It's in Afrikaans, so it's like our home language. But it's literally a produced show where we compete against each other, and we compete against a pro in a certain field. So we would we'll go on a shooting course. So we'll do a shooting course for 4 hours, then compete against the pros that actually taught us whatever that is, and then compete against each other. So it just shows how competitive we are the whole time. And so we keep that energy coming to Vegas, which is always fun. There's always friendly banter as well, and it keeps it, especially in a very high pressure, low calorie, very hungry and tired mentality. It keeps it upbeat, and I'm very grateful for that.
There we go. And I just got a couple more questions for you, but one of the last big ones is there's been some major news over the last week about a big mega fight. And one of the guys mentioned in that mega fight is a South African, Elon Musk, who I believe also spent some time in Pretoria. I know Dreykus said he'd welcome him with open arms to train with you guys. I mean, is that something you guys would do? And who are you picking to win that fight?
Firstly, it's not even close. Like, Elon Musk is taking that fight all day. He is residing in America, but that doesn't change anything. He was still born on South African soil. He actually went to school about 3-4 kilometers from where we train. So was like in our city as well. So I would absolutely love it if he comes to train at Team CIT. if you can't do that, Mr. Musk, sir, we will travel to the States to teach you. And we will. He also speaks Afrikaans, so we'll be able to teach him in his home language as well. So that would be an absolute honor. And when I heard the rumors of that fight happening, Musk all day. He's gonna make it look easy.
Yeah, 100%. Maybe you do an Elon Musk, Dreykus versus Izzy, and you versus a top 15 bantamweight. Maybe you do that card or something like that.
Sounds amazing, and we do that in South Africa. That would be sick.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Is that something where you think that's on the horizon? I mean, that's been mentioned a lot, the UFC going to Africa. But with you and Dreykus' success, obviously, with a win next Saturday, he's the number one contender. He's going to fight for the title. Do you think with a win over Adesanya or even the fight against Adesanya, you guys could get the UFC to Africa? Do you think that you guys could be the ones?
It's inevitable. It's gonna happen. It's one of those things there that it's picture perfect for the UFC, because we're gonna continue to perform, we're gonna continue to finish, we're gonna continue to get wins, and if they want to travel to Africa, it's gonna be a no-brainer to what country they need to go to, and that's gonna be South Africa. We are one of the best tourist attractions on the African continent for any tourist from right across the world to come travel. We have amazing stadiums. Even in our hometown, we have the Sun Arena, which is literally perfect for the UFC. So I think all the chips are falling into place, and it's gonna be inevitable. And you'll see myself and Drickus on those cards for sure.
Perfect. Well, I know you said a finish within 2 rounds, so that's your official prediction for the fight next weekend. Any other last words you want to give to all the Cameron Saaiman fans out there?
No, I just want to thank you all. Thank you for the support. It's been an absolutely amazing journey. I'm having the time of my life, and you'll see that in the cage come fight night. We're going to get it done in 2.
Perfect, man. Well, I cannot wait to see it. Wishing the best to you and Dreykus. I'm rooting for both of you guys. So UFC 290 can be a big night for the South Africans.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your time. And yeah, it's a pleasure. Thanks.
Of course.
Awesome.